good. It's almost Friday.
I'd like to ask you a few questions about eminent domain in churches. If you could, what is eminent domain in your own words?
Eminent domain is where the government takes private property to use for the public good, such as like a bridge, a school, different things like that. Something that benefits the whole community.
Okay.
And pay a good price to the people they took the property from.
Right. Okay. How do you feel about churches being affected by eminent domain?
Well, I think churches are like anything else. As long as they're not singled out, they could be affected by it. I don't think they should be singled out as churches, though.
Do you feel the church's rights are guaranteed by the First Amendment?
Well, if you mean their property rights, I don't think they have any. I don't think they should have any greater rights than me as an individual. I think it's an organization, though, and as a result, you're uprooting a whole lot more than you are an individual. But you could argue the same for if somebody uproots a Walmart. So I don't think they should have any special rights, because I don't want the government having any ability to say, well, you get this special privilege, therefore we get to say this about what you do.
Okay.
That's my concern.
Right. Is it right that the government would deny land grants to churches if the city plan required that areas pay high taxes?
A land grant to churches?
Yes, sir.
Free land? Okay, I've never heard of churches having a right to free land. Every church I've always been involved with is they have to buy their own property. And if they buy it, that's fine.
All right. What's your overall view of the entire thing?
Well, as far as churches paying taxes, I have a little bit of problem if they're exempt because they're a church. If they're exempt because they are a non-profit organization, well, that fits any organization, not just a religious one. And my problem with it is government could come back later and say, we have been supporting you by giving you money. Not really giving, but not taking yours, therefore. And so you have to do some things we say. I don't want to give the government inroads in any way. So as far as tax exempt status on non-profit, no problem. But if it's put there just because it's a church, that opens a door for later if someone wants to come in and take advantage of the church. Say the government owes, you owe the government something. That's my viewpoint.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
8,999. 9,000. Over 9,000.
Okay. You see there.
Hey man, could you explain in your own words what about eminent domain?
Well, eminent domain is just when the government buys back properties and things like churches, and so that they can bulldoze it over and make things like highways.
What's your opinion with the churches being affected by eminent domain?
Well, it's not right, because churches are part of the First Amendment. They're freedom of religion, and government's taking that away from them.
Okay. Do you feel the church's rights are granted by the First Amendment?
Well, like I just stated, it's they are, because you've got to have the freedom of religion, and even though the church doesn't give money to the government, it still gives to the people.
All right. Thanks so much for your time.
He's an animal.
Mr. Reed, it's nice to have you today. I'd like to ask you a few questions about eminent domain.
Okay.
Could you please voice your opinion about eminent domain?
All right. From my understanding, eminent domain is the right of the government to use public lands for governmental purposes. They can take the land and trade for the land fair market value to the owners of the land, even against the owner's wishes, if it is for governmental purposes. And I believe that the Constitution outlines a lot of different things that may take place. Some of the laws or some of the things that are in the Constitution may actually be a little antiquated or may relate to a certain wartime or something such as that. But I don't see a problem with eminent domain if it is applied fairly and uniformly to people who are affected by it.
Okay. Churches affected by eminent domain. Would you please elaborate on that topic?
Yeah, church is an entity just like any other, even though there are special rights afforded to the church in the Constitution. The church is subject to law just as any other group of people, any other organization. Now, the church is afforded specific rights. For example, they don't have to pay certain taxes. They don't have to pay any taxes in certain cases. There are other places that have the same protection. Other religious organizations, not just a church, but a mosque, for example, or certain charities. Eminent domain affecting the church, if it is unfairly enforced, or if a church is wanting to expand into a territory of land that is reserved for a public use, I could see them appealing eminent domain or asking for a special permission, because there have even been other retail places that would be allowed a special privilege to waive eminent domain. But at the same time, I think the church already has special privileges in the Constitution. Congress can't make a law prohibiting the free exercise and the peaceable exercise of a religious organization. But I don't think that we should automatically assume that just because we're a church, we have the right to something that maybe everybody else doesn't, if that makes sense.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Riley Johnson.
Alright kids, we've learned a lot today about eminent domain. So I figured me and my pal Wamba here would like to give you a little rundown while playing Gears of War 3.
We see eminent domain is when the government buys private property from different citizens. The government, you will usually use it for schools, roads, bridges, etc. You know, no big deal.
And the way that comes in with the church is the government...
Oh yeah!
And the way that comes in with the church is to say the government feels the churches are the first ones in line for eminent domain because the churches don't necessarily pay tax money. Therefore, they feel that the churches don't contribute much to society. So that's when the bulldozers come in, and it's mainly them. Oh! Here it is, baby. And execute.
Alright, well, there are different zoning laws. Don't know if you know that. There's zoning laws in towns, you know, different industrial areas, agricultural, housing, you know, just different types. Well, most industrial zones are very high taxes just so that, you know, they can make more money off of what's going on. And churches, the government probably doesn't want churches in there because churches are usually tax exempt. And so it becomes a huge problem for the government whenever they say, well, no, we can't let you in here. But then they end up letting a shopping mall in. And, you know, that's just not okay. You know, it's just, oh yeah. What? Yes, finally a victory. What? Where'd he go? What is this?
What you say? That you only meant well, 'cause you did. What you say? That it's all for the best, 'cause it is. What you say? That it's just what we need. You decided this. What you say? What did she say? What you say? That you only meant well, 'cause you did. What you say? That it's all for the best, 'cause it is. what you say. That is just what we need. You decided.
Guys, I just realized that there's no
what you say. Oh, that you only meant well, well, 'cause you did. What you say. That it's all for the best, 'cause it is. What you say. That it's just what we need. You decided this. What you say.
You guys never once paid for
What you say. Oh, that you only meant well. What you say. Oh, that you only meant well. What you say. Oh, that you only meant well, well, 'cause you did. What you say. What you say. What you say. Oh, that you only meant well, well, 'cause you did. What you say. That it's all for the best, 'cause it is. What you say. That it's just what we need. You decided this. What you say. What did she say?